This is Terrell from Hall of Fame and D-Line, and this is Bully Rants. And this is probably a pretty decent rant. And the reason being is because it's the Bulldog thing. Now, one of the things is that this is the new trend, and I keep on seeing it. Some people hate it, some people live by it, and that's just an excuse for them to cheat and try to do what they're going to do. I'll explain to you exactly, what happened, how it began. Anyway, now, Little Roe was pretty much considered, he was the marquee dog at the time for what was known as the pocket. Dave didn't like the dog. Really, a lot of people didn't like the dog because at that time, the American Bully was a big dog, big muscular dog. People wanted a 100-pound dog, 25, 26-inch head, a big, incredible, muscular dog. Well, Roe happened. And the thing about it is, it's never really a lot of debate, is Roe Cairo's son? But the thing that most people did not understand about Roe is that Roe is a dwarf. It's that plain and simple. That's how you get down to the pocket gene. They're dwarfs. A lot of y'all call them runts. They're dwarfs. But the bigger part of this is to totally understand what you're breeding when you breed these dogs that are dwarfs. And once Roe came along, everybody wanted a shorter dog. That's when the pocket class was born. And what you noticed about these short dogs is that they were very thick. They had these big heads on these little bodies, thick necks, big wide shoulders, and everybody used to brag, the bone on them, the bone on them, the bone on them, But also what happened, and it was definitely happening in Roe, and you can look it up, do your research. Hopefully for once somebody does research, and I'm not, talking to people who are learning about the breed. I'm talking about the so-called experts out there. Dwarfism has a lot of different traits. Amongst those traits are protruding forehead, which we tend to like. It gives the dog a big blocky head. Shorter muzzle, which we tend to like. Feet issues. Feet and leg issues. It's described as crooked legs, bow legs. Easty-westy is mostly what we hear, and it's actually in the journal as easty-westy also. And that causes severe joint pains and arthritis, and also the spinal issues, which we can see a lot of with these dogs that have the dip in their back, and that causes neurological problems. And something that we're seeing more and more of in the bullies is seizures. So you can take that one with you. Also lack of a descending testicles. And I forget the exact medical term for that, but Roe had one testicle. You can see different deformities in the toes, the toenails, sometimes webbed feet, sometimes missing toenails, crooked toenails. The list goes on, including bad bites, displacement of the jaw as the bottom jaw tends to protrude further away. That's the normal one. Of course, the other one is the overbite, which is more rare. Typically, it's the lower jaw. Now, this is not in any way to be insensitive at all. I'll say that first and foremost. But the best way to compare this is to compare this to a human that suffers from dwarfism. And then you get a better understanding of what you're dealing with some of these dogs. And the leg issues and other issues that go along with being, with suffering from dwarfism. Most humans with dwarfism really have to go through life with a lot of issues, a lot of medical issues. It's not a comfortable thing. It's a very serious thing. And that's why I put the disclaimer up to not, hurt anyone's feelings or be offensive by comparing the two, but the symptoms and the issues with it are similar in both animals and in humans. And the thing that the reason why we're stating this in this rant is for people to know that you're not just making a cute dog. You have to be very precise in the way you breed these dogs and look for these abnormalities in the dog to better understand if you just have a short dog or if you have a dwarf, and how to breed accordingly to not so much put these genes into your dogs that could really hurt your dogs and shorten the lifespan, which was another one of the symptoms, and also have your dog living in a lifetime of pain. More and more I've noticed that the leg issues and the back issues from irresponsible breeding and people really too much not knowing what they're doing are starting to become more and more prevalent. Now it's gotten so bad that bad bites, people don't too much worry about them, but you would sort of, you know, I mean, think about it, if your jaw stuck out like that, how hard it is to eat, and excuse me, and the possible discomfort later on in life, because with the protruding jaw also comes arthritis in the jaw is known to happen from that because of the lack of balance and symmetry in the mouth. So that's something else that you deal with in these dogs. Now, it was a lot of people correlated that with being an English Bulldog, but if you studied the English Bulldog, you would understand that over the last 50 years the English Bulldog has changed a lot, and it's from a lot of the same thing. People wanted a fatter, cuddlier, stockier little dog, and what happened is the English Bulldog starts suffering from a lot of the traits of dwarfism that now the American Bullies suffer from. So for those people who just think you are adding in an English Bulldog to get your bully look, or adding a French Bulldog, I'm not going to say any names about that one, are we? But you know, it's a lot there that needs to be studied. It's a lot there that needs to be looked at, you know. And the whole point of this is not to say, oh, don't buy a dog from this person or don't buy a dog from that person, but it's more so to start an educating process to where I hope people start to look into what these dogs are made of, where they come from, and if you really care about them, how they're feeling as far as how you're making them. Trust and believe, the dog who's built very soundly, straight legs, straight back, you know, good bite, great movement, he feels a lot better than your dog with the crooked legs and the dipped in back, which is causing a tremendous amount of pressure on his spine, and you know, that protruding jaw going forward. You know, it just doesn't, all of these symptoms and things leads up to a lifetime of arthritis and other neurological problems that pretty much are going to make the dog suffer. You know, and if you cared anything about not only this breed but just dogs in general, you would not promote and push for dogs to be built like this. It's really a sad thing, and it's gotten out of hand. You know, dwarfism, and now bulldogs into them, which is adding more dwarfism traits. And most breeders just don't even know how to get away from it. Now, we do have some other issues up top with heavy inbreeding that also causes some ugly traits in the dogs. But really what I'm pushing for, and I hope that the registries and, you know, and just us as responsible dog owners start pushing more for a good, healthy dog. There's too many fat, super fat dogs. It's too many, you know, deformed dogs, and I'm not going to call them anything else because they are deformed. And, you know, it's just too many unhealthy, you know, badly put together dogs with tons of issues out there. And at some point, somebody has to step up for the dogs and stop caring so much about trying to get every dime that you can get out of these animals. You know, there's plenty of places you can Google all day to find out all the medical information you need to know about your dogs, and how these dogs are really supposed to be put together. And really just, I mean, in spite of whatever debates are going on or whatever, we know what's right, you know. I mean, like I said, you can take a trip down memory lane and go back, you know, 5 or 6 years, and you look at, you know, the Pacos of the world and the Hefts of the world, and, you know, a Hallie or whatever, and you'll see, you know, that these dogs were well put together, very athletic, even though they still had those short, stocky bodies. And you know, and pretty much, you know, those that weren't poisoned, you know, still living a long, healthy life, moving around good, and not having these issues. So you know, hopefully we can start bringing some dignity back to our breed as far as the health concerns go, and make a better dog, period. You know, don't listen to these idiots that want to bash people for wanting correct dogs. And that's right, I'm calling you an idiot if you are on the new boat of bashing a correct dog. You sound stupid, period. There's no other way to say it. When a doctor can sit there and tell you the dog is supposed to be correct to live a good, healthy life, and you want to say, oh, they just stupid, they just hating on me because my dog's legs are shaped like an S and his back look like I've been riding him his whole life and he can't breathe, you know, I gotta do all this stuff and to put him in air conditioning and all that. You sound like a damn jackass, period. You know, somebody needs to do some things to deform your ass, period. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of this. If you have any questions, inbox me or anything, and I do the best that I can to help you. And if I can't find somebody, if I don't know the answers, I'll find somebody that can help you with it. All right, peace.